State Fire Marshal looks into what caused a fire in Washington Parish that killed a man and injured a police officer. Andres has the latest details from Franklinton.
The skeleton of a three-story home stands surrounded by smoke, ash, and small flames. This is where the state fire marshal says a 72-year-old man died during a fire just outside of the Franklinton city limits near H.C. Rushing and John D. Wood Road.
With the heat index, 108? And this fire probably was burning 3,000 degrees or hotter. Fire creates its own wind. There would have been no way, once it caught that structure, that anybody inside would have had enough time to know.
Franklinton's mayor says first responders rushed to the scene when the initial call was made around 1 o'clock Thursday afternoon. A police officer now recovers after he was injured.
One of our policemen suffered second-degree burns because when he got there, the first thing he did was to get out and start trying to extinguish the fire.
The fire chief tells me that more than 100 firefighters from across Washington Parish came here throughout the night to make sure that the flames were under control. An all too common sight here in Washington Parish as Louisiana goes through one of its driest summers on the books.
Make sure you're having a conversation about the burn ban with the people that you know in your community and help get that word out.
The state fire marshal wants people to know that they have the power to mitigate fires by simply minding how you put out a cigarette, barbecue, and of course not burning any debris or campfires.
It's in consideration for your neighbors, but really it's in consideration for your first responders. They are tired, they are hot, they are in unsafe conditions when they are going out to put these fires out, and they're just stretched thin.
When you light it, it's going to spread. And if any wind pick it up, it's gone.
Reporting in Franklinton, Andres Fuentes, Fox 8, Local First.